What's up? What's up, Internet Land? Dan McCall here with our episode of Whatever It Takes Wednesday, and we're here episode 7, so we're 7 weeks in here. I'm kind of excited about that to see it keep going. I know a lot of people start these shows and they don't they don't keep it going. So we're here to stay. Stay tuned every week. On this episode, I have a good friend of mine. He's an entrepreneur. He's an expert in the e-commerce space. He's also a coach. Great guy, just all together. We actually met at an Eric Thomas event, so I think that's pretty cool too. That's how we actually met. So without further ado, I'll get and slide in here, Ernest. Say what's up.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, my man. See my man Hector on there. So we're gonna start this out. We're gonna start this out peeling back the layers, like I always like to do with our guest here. Peeling back the layers of my man Ernest. So first things first. Who is Earnest Epps? Like where are you from? Where'd you grow up and that kind of thing?
Okay, so I'm actually from Virginia. I grew up in Fredericksburg. I went to pretty much like elementary school, middle school, high school down in Virginia. And personally I had a background in sales and marketing and, slaving away with the 9-to-5 grind, working for the man for roughly about 7 years. And I was able to fully transition from that to, running an e-commerce business and, don't have to worry about, slaving away for somebody else, asking them when I can use the bathroom, asking them if I can go on break, asking them if I could take my kids to go see the doctor, all the little silly nuances that you would have to deal with while you're still working full time. I don't have to do that anymore, and it's a huge blessing. And actually, Dan, I think this is the first time I've ever been on a live too. So, first time on live.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that. Give him some support. This is his first time.
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, that's one thing I love about live videos is they're so real and so raw. You know what I mean? Because they're live, you know what I mean? It's not like making a recorder or something, a video, and you're like, oh, I don't like the way that was said. I'm gonna redo that. I'm gonna redo that video because it's like that's how it is when you make videos. I mean, I've done hundreds of videos. I don't know, maybe close to 700 or 800 videos or something now. And I remember back in the day, just first making videos, feeling like I'm on TV or something, like it's like a scary thing or something like that, but it's all fun, and this is all social. We're here on Facebook Live. This will be uploaded to my YouTube channel as well, and Ernest will be sharing it as well. So if you can't stay for the whole thing, you'll be able to get the replay. So that's good news. What's up? Love all the comments. Hit that love button on us too. Give us that love. We appreciate the love. There it is. Boom. My man Michael Fowler. Yeah.
Man, this is really cool.
Yeah. So feel free to drop any comments or questions or anything like that. Definitely appreciate the love. I've been having fun doing this show, and we're going to continue to improve the show over time here. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for Ernest, coming down here and hanging out here with us as well. So I'm going to get to the next question. Just one of my favorite questions for this show since I've been doing it with the different guests we've had on here. Like what caused you to fall in love with the idea of entrepreneurship? Like what was there a trigger? Was there a trigger moment? Can you take yourself back in time a little bit for us?
Oh gosh, man, there's been a lot of moments that really had me passionately want to pursue entrepreneurship. The big, I guess you could say, eye opener for me was I actually wound up picking up Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think it was his third one, The Guide to Investing. And when I picked up that book, I actually got very frustrated because I felt like everybody had kind of lied to me my entire life about the right system to follow, right program to follow in life, which is, go to school, get good grades, go to college, and, if any of this sounds repetitive, that's the system. That is the American system. So when I picked up Robert Kiyosaki's book, it frustrated me, and when I read it, I actually got really angry. I actually got mad And like I pretty much like I can't remember at what point in the book I threw the book because I was just ticked off. I was like, this is crazy. No one told me any of this stuff. Like, what do you mean? This is how you really make money. So I got really frustrated, but obviously like the information was good, the content was great, so I picked it up. And through my frustration, I actually wound up going through the book like 3 times back to back. And I think it was like the second time I read it, I actually took notes as I read the entire book. Like I took handwritten notes on everything that he was talking because I was just like, wow, this is like such rich information. Like this is how you really make money. This is how the system is really like built for, people to obtain whatever it is that they want in life, because you're capped when you work full time. When you're working for somebody, they determine how much they want to pay you, not how much you want to pay you. So that was like the biggest eye opener for me, and then that just continued to get fueled from that moment of just continually just looking for other vehicles that I can invest my time, energy, and effort into outside of working for someone else full time. But yeah, that's what did it. It was that book. I picked it up and was just frustrated because I didn't understand.
That is fascinating.
How money was really made.
I was going to get in. That was going to be one of my later on questions too. Like, if you had any books that you recommended, and now you're talking about a book that actually like triggered your whole entrepreneur journey. I'm sure part of your entrepreneur journey and the thought process was already there a little bit, but like obviously that was like a crucial moment or a big moment for you reading that book. Was it Robert Kiyosaki's first book?
No, I think it was his third one, The Guide to Investing.
Okay. I don't think I've even read that one. So yeah, so there's a book recommendation for me too. So there's a good one for you guys too. To take that book and just dissect information like that, it reminds me of why I'm a big practitioner of the book Think and Grow Rich, because it's like you're not just reading it and putting it back on the shelf. You're actually like becoming a student to it, right? It's like,
well, yeah, there's no way you can pick up Think and Grow Rich and not do something to make you want to grow rich.
Yeah, so I'm a big practitioner of that. I'm sure you probably are too. I could tell by the way you reacted to my Think and Grow Rich comment.
Yeah, every time I've read Think and Grow Rich, I think I've read it probably 4 or 5 times now, and every time I've read it, it's like I read it the first time. It's just like, where did Napoleon Hill this the other time I read it? I don't remember this. So I always take something out of the content that's in that book. It's phenomenal. I think Bob Proctor mentioned that he might read that book like once a year, every year, or something of that nature.
Oh,
if I'm
yeah,
wrong from that statistic, I apologize, but it's somewhere along the lines of that. I know he's read it a lot.
Yep, you get the point. So hey, Sean, slide in here real quick for a second. So guys, I just wanted to real quick just let you guys know I got my man Sean Humanchuk is here with us in the building as well. He's going to be keeping an eye on the questions for us. He's helping us out with the show today. So if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them below. He's going to be helping us out with that. And I'm grateful for you, man. Appreciate you coming through.
No problem.
Sean actually met Ernest too at the
Eric Thomas
Thomas event as well too. So
yes, sir.
It's awesome.
Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, that's a nugget right there too, guys. Build relationships everywhere you go. And another thing, if you're attending business functions or events, the leaders always sit in the front. Dan and Sean, they were both up front, and I've created the most powerful relationships at different events by the people that are sitting up the front. They're the ones that's taking notes. They're genuinely interested in the content that's being delivered, and they're probably going to be the ones that actually take something out of it. Now, I don't know if you've ever sat in the back before, but I used to sit in the back because it's like more relaxed. You can slide out, use the bathroom, people playing around, but I'm telling you, there's a big difference between the back and the front. So do whatever you can to get in the front, and not just get in the front, but also build relationships.
Yeah, that's awesome advice, and it's funny because you were just sitting right in front of us. You just turned around, you were real talkative and stuff, and we ended up getting each other's Facebooks right away and everything like that, and that's what it's all about. With the events, it's not like just the. It's we had a guest on here a couple weeks ago. He was like, "It ain't the events; it's the hands you shake." the hands you shake at the event. So that's why
that's crazy. I didn't even listen to that episode or anything. Like we're
Yeah.
kind of vibing the same way. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and he's just like you, top producer, in their space, just like you're top producer in your space. You know what I mean? It's just it's funny how it all goes hand in hand. So love all the comments, guys. Appreciate the love. So this is one of my favorite questions too. It seems like a common question I've been coming across like each time I've been doing these interviews. So like if you had to give yourself, because this goes to the audience too, like people that are just getting started in their entrepreneur journey or they're ready to get started in their entrepreneur journey. Like, if you had to go back and give yourself advice from when you first got started, what would you say? It's funny questions,
wow.
right?
Yeah, guys, this is purely organic too. Like I haven't seen the questions. I don't know what he's going to ask me. So I'm just in awe as maybe you guys are too.
And there's no right or wrong answer. Just your perspective. You know what I mean? So what would you? What would your advice be?
I've been with a lot of people that I've been coaching here recently. Like one of the things that I've been really vibing with is the fact that if I would have really rewinded 17 months ago from where I'm at right now, and the person I am today would have talked to that individual, I probably wouldn't have believed them. So it's just the way things can just happen very quickly. Like when you're putting in a lot of energy and effort and you're staying focused on just one thing and not chasing multiple things, but you're dialed in and you're focused on one thing. You can really create a lot of momentum, and that momentum will actually propel you very quickly if you stay focused and you're putting in the right activity. So if I had to rewind and go back, even just 7 years ago, it would have been, to have the belief that what you're doing is actually going to work, and stay consistent. And that's one of the things that I can genuinely say, because I've attempted to do multiple different types of businesses, like I think most people nowadays might be doing. Like you're chasing this one thing and then that doesn't work out well, you go do this, or you might be doing multiple of those things at the same time, you're not sure which one to do. So it's just like, pick one, stay focused, stay committed, stay consistent, and believe in yourself. And even when I didn't even believe in myself at sometimes, I believed in someone else that was actually teaching me the information. And so I put my belief in them until I could believe in me. And then everything else started to come together very well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Really powerful. Really powerful, everything you said. And the people that you guys that are watching this don't know this, but it's funny that me and Ernest were talking before this started, because we both do coaching in our particular niches and stuff like that. And we were just talking about this, like the power of focus. One of my favorite sayings is that I always say all the time, I say, focused energy is the best energy. Like that's like a common quote that comes out my mouth all the time. Focused energy is the best energy. You know what I mean? And we were talking about this because like I said, we're both in the coaching space and stuff like that, in our particular niches. And we coach people, and then like a week or two later, we see them like asking for like more info, like on another, like one of our guru friends, their posts on Facebook and stuff like that. And we're like, man, you just started, man. Like you're not even, like you got at least 90 days of like commitment to get any kind of traction. Like, so it's really good advice. I think it's really good advice what Ernest said, and he's just sharing his raw perspective. You know what I mean? And that's something that I love, is this raw perspective, because every perspective and every good saying, there's a contradicting saying to it. We were actually talking about that before we got on here too. I was giving an example of like good things come to those that don't wait. And obviously the point of that is to take action, right? And then there's like the other saying is good things come to those that wait. And that's talking about exercising patience and playing the long game. So they're like contradicting sayings. Like, so like the point of my story, the point of that short little topic there, and the focused energy and everything like that, it's just to get the point. And the point, obviously you guys get the point with what Ernest was saying. He's just saying, to stay focused. And I love the whole everything about the belief system too. I think that that's a really important thing as far as networking goes and stuff like that too, and being around those front row people too. Because when your belief's not that good and you're around other people that have good belief systems, when yours is down, they're going to level you right back up.
Oh yeah, man. The amount of success I've been able to create, just over like the last year and a half, was largely due to getting in the right environment. And getting around people, like you just said, like the caliber of people when you start to like level up, like the people that you're around. Like there's no way I could hang around the people that I hang around and have a bad day. It just wouldn't happen, because like somebody's gonna have a good day.
Yeah,
like it's just gonna happen. So you gotta get around those type of people, and you gotta be in the right environment for yourself to grow. So the way I look at that is, I use the analogy of, if you have like a fire, like in a fire pit, like you got logs in the fire, you have the fire pit. If you were to take one of the logs out of the fire pit and set it off to the side, eventually the log by itself would do what?
It would just die out.
It would just die out, right? But if you got the log in the fire with all the other logs, it's going to stay heated, it's going to stay lit. And so you got to put yourself in an environment where you can stay lit, and you got to stay on fire all the time. So definitely level up your network, get around other individuals that are moving forward and going the direction that you want to go in life. Even just driving up here, I had a lady, that I went to high school with. She sent me a message, and she's just like, "Hey, just want to know if you're still living in the area. Like, I'd like to get a chance to hang out with you and your fiance and kids, because there's a lot of people that are in our area that don't want to really do anything in life, and like I just want to surround myself with better people." So literally, that's all it takes, is just like messaging someone. Now, don't send me a ton of messages, because I already got a lot of people that I'm either working with or in the process of in building relationships with. So I don't want like 500,000 messages to come through, but you get the concept. Really just reach out to other individuals that you see going in the direction that you want to go, and start masterminding with people. Like the power of a mastermind is absolutely ridiculous. I got 3 different mastermind groups that I'm personally a part of. And, it's the same thing, man. Like, get around other individuals that you can brainstorm with, come up with different ideas that you can launch your idea with. They can provide you feedback, and not just, always positive feedback. Somebody that can, punch you in the face and say, "Hey, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that." So you kind of need it both ways.
Yeah. I love that fire analogy. It's like, it's good to, I love metaphors, you know what I mean? And that's a good one. I think I've heard that before, but if I did, I forgot it. So great stuff, and that's something that I experienced too. Like in my, just as a business person, stuff like that. Like a lot of that, like it's like the stories, it's like the conversations that go on in the background, right? It's like the conversations go in the background. Like if you're around a whole bunch of like high level, high producer type of people, what happens is sometimes some of them fall off. But they end up talking to their people, you know what I mean, that lift them back up. Because here's the thing, we're all human beings, you know what I mean, we're all human, and everybody. And that's going to lead me to my next question too. Is everybody has ups and downs, you know what I mean, and it reminds me of that. Like there's a success drawing out there. It's like people act like it's like a straight like beam, and then it shows like a squiggly line. You ever see that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like it's not like it's an easy road, but you know what though, life's not easy. Life's hard. You know what I mean? It is. It's a challenge. You know what I mean? So I think I'm not going to go into my religious beliefs, but I think overall on a spiritual level, I think we come down here to be challenged. That's just one of my own personal beliefs. We come here to challenge ourselves. If everything's in heaven's perfect, then it's like there's not a challenge there, right? So like come down here and we challenge ourselves. That's like one of my own personal beliefs. But anyway, so to my next question, though, I want to get off top there with the possibly religious stuff. One of my next questions is like, do you ever get down, or do you ever feel like does your energy ever feel low? And I already kind of know the answer to it, but I just want to hear your perspective on it. And if so, and when so, like, what are some things that you do to kind of bring yourself back up, or bring yourself back up to speed? Like, what are the things that you do to keep yourself in a positive state?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Definitely, there's days that are more challenging than others. Especially when I was working full time, man. That was not a fun experience, building an empire while slaving away from somebody else, rather. So really, like, you gotta know what your why is. You gotta know what you're focused on. That's giving you the reason to start whatever it is that you're starting As far as from an entrepreneur's perspective, or just in life, like if you're looking to grow your career, not just as an entrepreneur, because there were certain things that I was focused on, and I knew my why on why I wanted to grow with the company and go from an assistant manager to a director, from a director to an area sales manager, or whatever the case is. But really just, focusing on that why. Like your why has to be something that's so strong that when you think about it, like you automatically just kind of get yourself to get in action. I got several whys, lots of whys. But one of my whys is, I got my oldest son who has some challenges, has seizures and things of that nature. And it's just like, one of the things that I want to do to continue to excel in my career is to start to level up so I can provide, potentially like other doctors' opinions on, some of the challenges that he's having, so we can, get him out of, that situation, dealing with, the medical issues that he's having. And it's just like, the more that I can grow, the better type of care that I can provide for him. So a lot of people, when we talk, they know I discuss money a lot, but it's not necessarily the money that I'm really like interested in. It's what I can do with the money once I acquire the money. Like the more I can do for my family, the more I can do for my fiance, my kids, my mom, my aunt. Even the community. There's big things I want to do in the community too as well. But at the end of the day, if you ain't got the finances right, it's not a whole lot you can do. I figure I can do a whole lot more with a lot of it than a little bit. So I just keep that into perspective. And sometimes I do little silly stuff too, like to get myself kind of motivated. So if I feel like my energy's low and I have something that's coming up that's really important, like I know I need to get done in a certain hour, like I literally just like sit there and like yell at myself. And one of the things I told myself, like when I was working as a sales representative, I have like different affirmations and stuff, but the particular one I use when I'm dealing with anything sales related is I tell myself I'm the best salesman in the world. Like everywhere I go, people want what I have. I'm the best salesman alive. And then I just repeat that to myself, and I'll like jump up and down, do some jumping jacks, and just do something silly to just get myself to change my state of mind, because I know like my subconscious mind is really kind of overtaking my conscious mind to thinking that I don't have enough energy to accomplish the task at hand. And so I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that I have enough energy to accomplish whatever it is that I need to do. And so I do sometimes a little silly stuff. But really just, staying focused on like my why, and letting that, pull me and not necessarily push me. Because if your why is compelling enough and is deep enough and you actually really genuinely know like why it is that you're doing what you're doing, you don't really need a whole lot of additional motivation outside of that.
Yeah. Wow. That's some powerful, deep stuff, man. I love all that. And it makes me think, and I don't know about you guys too, watching this right here, right now, about if you're doing affirmations and things like that that are powerful, like that. I mean, having that that's like goes to self awareness. Like you have pretty good self awareness if you're having that talk with yourself, because we're all having that talk with ourselves. Just a matter of what kind of talk we're having with ourselves, right? If you don't think you're talking to yourself, just hold on for a second, think about it. Gotcha.
I was thinking too.
That's great. But anyway, I love that, and I'm actually gonna take this page out of his book and see if I can work. That's funny, but see if I can work on my affirmations a little bit better too, because I know how powerful they are. I once heard that your this is another money statement. Is your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a penny or $1 million. So it's all about whatever you tell yourself, you're going to believe it. So you know what I mean. That's a whole other thing, a whole other topic that I can get into about titling yourself. You know what I mean. I actually disagree with some of the different programs out there that help people and with addicts and stuff like that, like calling yourself an addict. I mean, I think it's good to admit you have a problem, but I don't think it's good to title yourself that way, because we do. This is my own personal opinion, my own personal belief, my own perspective, is that we live up to the titles that we give ourselves. So because our subconscious mind don't know the difference, right? Just like he was touching on that subconscious mind stuff. I mean, it's powerful. The affirmations are so powerful, and I'm grateful for Ernest, coming here today and giving me a little reminder, for affirmations, because I used to do them before, and I kind of stopped doing them. So maybe I'll work on that for myself personally as well. So thank you for that. So this is going to go on to the next. I'm going to skip to this one here. You've already touched on this question. This is the book question. Like, do you have any books that you recommend? You already recommended that one that kind of triggered that. We touched on Think and Grow Rich a little bit. Is there any other? You have like a third recommendation out of those two books that we kind of touched on?
Oh man, there's so much good content. Like it's now I've read not a ton of books because there's I got a buddy of mine like he read 100 books last year. He's a beast. But now I give book recommendations based off of the individual and kind of where they're at in life and who they are as an individual before I just kind of give like generic recommendations now because I know certain people aren't ready for certain things. Like Think and Grow Rich, like that's a powerful book. Somebody unless they're really like looking to make a big change in their life, they're not really going to probably consume all the information. They probably get through like the first 2 or 3 chapters and like, oh man, I don't want to read the rest of this. So with that being said, there are some good, I guess you could say like standard, really good books to kind of get you going and moving in the right direction in life, to give you some good concepts and groundwork to propel you in the right direction. So one of those books will be The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. That is a phenomenal book. And then The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. That is also a really good book too as well. So I would definitely check out those 2 other ones in addition to the Robert Kiyosaki Guide to Investing. Again, that was what triggered it for me. That's where I figured I was like, man, I'm running the wrong race, and Robert Kiyosaki calls it the rat race. And I didn't want to be a rat.
That's great. I love that.
Not saying that if you're working full time that you are, because I was a rat too. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, respect too, right? Yeah, I got you. I love how you said that. Like, you had anger. It was like the anger that drove you, into your entrepreneurial journey. That just being angry. That's reading a book. I mean, I think anger is good. I mean, if you use it correctly, obviously that's a pretty good example of the power of being angry or being unsatisfied. Is using it as a driving force. So
no, that's definitely true, man. Like anger is just another emotion that we have, and again, it's energy that's released when we have anger. So if we can take that energy and channel it in the right direction, we can turn that negative into a positive. In my case, I was angry and I turned it into a frustration of reading more. Like, oh man, I need to read some more. So I do that, or I did that rather. And even sometimes, like I tell people, one of the things that motivates me as well is just like I tell people I'm motivated by the nightmare. And what I mean by motivated by the nightmare, I mentally sometimes to get myself moving and going. One of the days that I definitely feel like doing stuff is, I think about what will happen if I don't perform. Because that 24 hours could have been used doing something very productive, and by me not executing on what I need to do could have completely changed the trajectory of my business for the month had I decided to skip out on the day. So thinking about what will happen if I don't perform, and let's say I got hit by a car or something crazy. It's just like, man, if I don't do what I need to do, like something bad could happen. And so I use that same thing. I use the negative situation. I use that to motivate me in a positive way, to say, hey, I got to get my butt going in gear because anything can happen in life and nothing is promised to us. So every day I get up and have air in my lungs and I'm breathing and I can roll out of the bed. I'm like, all right, I'm off to a good start. I at least made it today.
Love it. So here's a question, Sean just slid in here, getting from Randy here. I mean, you can answer that question. I think it's more of a joke than a.
So Randy, actually, it's kind of funny because I really don't talk about the network marketing company that I was a part of. But if anyone's seen Randy's comment, you probably scroll up or something of that nature. But no, I did. I was part of a network marketing company for 6 years, and it's kind of funny because the lady that messaged me when I was going away up here from Fredericksburg, she actually kind of commented about some network marketing, multi-level marketing companies and stuff. And no, I'm not building a network marketing company. Personally, like I think network marketing is great. Actually, the reason why I got into network marketing is because of Robert Kiyosaki. Like literally, like when I finished reading his book like the third time, I had a list of goals, and one of my goals on there was to start a network marketing company. And you say, why? Well, some rich guy told me to do it that wrote this cool book, so that's what I thought I needed to do. And I didn't make a ton of money, but I learned a ton. I sharpened the axe of learning, proper networking skills, how to connect with people, how to develop a relationship with people, how to, sell products that you might not necessarily be excited about, but, you need to move products in order to get a paycheck. So I learned a lot of skills doing networking, or network marketing rather. So yeah, network marketing, I think it's a great business vehicle. I think it's, great for people that do it. For me, the reason why I don't do it now is because I feel like I can get a better return on investment for my time doing, what I do, which is, growing my different online businesses. And also, one of the things that, personally for me attracted me to learning how to be successful in the online arena is a quote by Warren Buffett where he says, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. And in the e-commerce arena, with the, depending on which vehicle that you use to leverage, you can put yourself in a position to where literally, you can kind of print yourself your own paycheck. Network marketing, you gotta do a lot more groundwork in the beginning in order to get to that position. So, again, I just feel like I can get a better return on investment for my time, and with me personally, opposed to doing a different vehicle of that nature. But I definitely think they're great. Definitely think they're, good for definitely people for starter businesses because you got a phenomenal support team. Like, most people don't have any type of business acumen unless you went to school to get an MBA. Actually, it's kind of funny. I was coaching a lady in California who has an MBA, and she was telling me how she admired me. I don't have a business degree. I don't actually have any degree. But she was telling me how much she admired me for the individual that I am, because of what I've been able to achieve. And it's just like, man, I got people who got MBAs and who are doctors and lawyers and attorneys that, that I get a chance to work with that, listen to me, and I just got a, high school education.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
So I think I answered the question.
Yeah. I love it. And I love how you stay cool about it. Too. Like some people, like if they're doing one thing, they like to trash another thing. You notice how people do that. I mean, they do it all the time. And I don't think that's cool. I mean, because everything it all works if you work it. You know what I mean? It all works if you work it. And that was you. Sharing your perspective, and I love how you kept it cool. How you kept it cool and talked about all the great benefits of network marketing. I'm a believer in network marketing, but I don't prefer that model either. Just like Ernest, my perspective. We're both in the e-commerce space for our particular niches. We both do it a little bit of a different way, and we will touch on that. We're going to try to keep the call as generic as possible. We want you to. The most important thing that you can get when talking to somebody that's having success in their business and stuff like that isn't it the exact how-to. It's not the exact business model. It's the business principles, the philosophies, and the beliefs. Because if you have all that right, you're going to be able to work any business model really, and that's the truth. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's really like the system. So I had some pretty decent like success or like moments of success where a couple months things were going great, like things were rolling. Just like I know you've had some success with some of the stuff that you've done outside of the business that you have now. So yeah, it's really the system. And back to where you asked me the question earlier, like what I've told myself different, like, hey, I might have built like a freaking monster network marketing company had I stayed committed, and had a higher belief, in the individuals that were helping me, and even in myself personally. I could be on a completely different trajectory, but found something again that I could get a little better return on investment for.
Yeah, awesome. So Sean took another question here from Lynn Henderson. Thank you, Sean, for getting us a question here. And so this is Lynn's question here. What kind of online business do you have? So I was going to ask. That was going to be one of the questions too. Just like I was going to touch it, and I'll just let you get in touch on what kind of business do you have.
Yeah, so I own a few online retail stores. So if you're not familiar with an online retail store, I know most of everyone who's an American now is familiar with Amazon. So if you heard of Amazon, Amazon is considered an online retailer. Now, when they originally started, they got started just to sell books. If you didn't know, they had no intentions on building this monster freaking online website. And so they started off selling books, and then they were like, hold on, what if we can deliver other products to our customer base that are coming to us looking for all these books? And so then they expanded to, selling, cutlery and glassware and kitchen tables, and you name it, they got it. So pretty much like I have a few stores that I own that are very niche specific, where I sell, let's say, for example, like kitchen tables. And it's like kitchen tables direct. And when people come to my store, they can shop for anything and everything that they like that's related to kitchen tables. I also do some affiliate marketing, and I also do coaching as well to teach people how to do everything that I'm already doing. And that's what's so awesome about what I do, and then also like what Dan does, is because we're not the people that are teaching people off of theory or philosophy or like your college professor. Like we're in the game. Like that's the cool thing. Like I tell people, like it's so awesome to be able to talk to someone like that's in the game and that's winning, and so you be able to get like real like advice and practical stuff that we're actually doing to be able to create success and to be able to grow and achieve whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, that's like it reminds me of like when I've been doing these Craigslist ads and stuff like that for fun lately and stuff like that. And I talk to people and I'm like, listen, I'm not just like some like out of shape weight trainer trying to tell you how to get in shape or telling you how to cook when I'm not actually a cook or something like that. Like this is actually what we do. You know what I mean? So like that's one important thing too. Is about practicing what you preach. You know what I mean? And you can't really teach on things that you're not really doing either, you know what I mean? And that goes back to our topic in the beginning too, that whole focused energy, and mastering something. We were talking about it before we hopped on here too. Like everybody wants to be a jack of all trades and they don't want to master nothing, you know what I mean? And just like when Arnold Schwarzenegger, like how did he become a movie star? How did he become the governor? That stuff. Like he was like into his weights, like you know what I mean? He was laser focused, like. He had focused energy, like I was talking about earlier. Focused energy being the best energy. So I'm gonna go ahead and touch on your like the things that you do now a little bit. So like, and that was one of the things. But she started talking about your the things that you do as well. So like, if someone wanted to start doing what you do, like whether it's having e-commerce stores the way you do, or coaching, or doing affiliate marketing. What kind of advice would you have? What kind of advice would you have for them? This is probably something we kind of already touched on it in some kind of way, but just go ahead and share your perspective.
Yeah, so I would say find.
They're getting into what you're doing. They're going to be you. They're going to be Earnest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, to model, some of the success that I've had. Really, I just found people that are actually winning and actually in the game and actually teaching real practical information and know what they're doing. And, depending on which, angle you want to go, maybe you don't want to do online marketing. Maybe you want to be a lawyer like my sister, or, you actually want to be like the number one neurosurgeon in the world or something of that nature. But find someone that's very successful at what you want to do, that's actually doing what you want to do. And, get any type of books. If they got any info products, anything you can get to get your hands on, like get whatever you can and really just, consume all the information. And in the process of consuming the information, make sure you take action on what it is that you learn. So I got some stuff that I'm working on studying, some new skills that I'm looking to acquire. And I literally found out who were some of the top people in the game with some of the stuff that I want to learn. And I just bought all their books. And like I've learned like a ton of information. It's like people that I know that are like killing it in their industry. So find some people that are successful at what you want to do, and find a way to not everyone you can get direct contact with, but get a book, get an audio book, get an info product, like get whatever you can get your hands on, and start putting in the action on everything that they're teaching. Because I love what Tony Robbins says, where he says success leaves clues. And a lot of the times, we've gotten information. Like I know Daniel, he puts out stuff like, consistently, like obviously with this call or video rather with Whatever It Takes Wednesdays. Like he's leaving a breadcrumb trail of everything that he's done and been able to be able to get success, and the people that he has come on are leaving those crumbs too as well. So sometimes it might just be high level information to where it's like practical advice, like some of the things that we talked about today to kind of get the mindset right. But all of that stuff works together. And one of the things I say is if your mind ain't right, then your grind ain't right.
I love that one. Mind ain't right, your grind ain't right.
Absolutely. Because, I took 95 north to get here, right? Because I live in Virginia, so I got to go north to get to New Jersey. So the thing is that if your mind isn't right, you could be going southbound, which I don't care how fast you're going, how long you're driving, no matter how much you're driving to go south, you will never get to New Jersey that's north. Okay? So you definitely got to get the mind right, because that's going to be your navigation system that's going to get you to where you want to go.
Love that. Fire. Just like the comment says right there.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I seen one comment about virtual assistant. What about virtual assistant services or something like that? So I don't know if you could be more clear about what you're exactly asking. That would be great. Unless you want to touch on it.
Yeah, I can touch on it very quickly. So I do have a VA that works for me, which if people don't know, like Dane just said, it's a virtual assistant. She works for me, and a great resource that I found. I don't know which tool you or resource you use. Rather, you can probably touch on it. I like using onlinejobs.ph. It's a great place to find people that you can. Good community, great resource. Like the program, they actually like source people, so people have to upload like real IDs and verification and stuff like that. And it's a great place to find great people that'll work for you. That's what I would recommend is onlinejobs.ph. That's a good source. You found anything?
Yeah, that's if I had to touch on that, I would say that's actually I'll just share my own personal experience real quick. That's where I started out getting virtual assistants. I have virtual assistants too from the Philippines and India, and I started out there too. And now I ended up. Now I have like a small community of them that I'm like friends with. So I have a whole like slew of them now, that I work with and try to give jobs to and help. And it's great, it's great, it's great to give people work. It feels good to pay your VA and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man.
Like,
to be able to know that you're like providing for somebody else. So like my VA, like her dad was in the hospital, for some disease or something like that. And, she wasn't able to work, and, I paid her, for the days that she wasn't supposed to work anyways. And like, she was like super fired up about that. But, just know that,
Love that.
You can, help provide for somebody else. And it's challenging, like worldwide, like finding work nowadays. It doesn't matter if you're in Jamaica, Puerto Rico, like in the U.S., you can have your challenges no matter where you are. So just knowing that you're helping to fill the gap, in a worldwide economy, and you're providing, some resources for other people, and a mutual exchange of services is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so the next question here is by my brother, Samuel Miller. He says, how important is your name, being that it's your brand?
Well, it depends on, I would say that, that's a little bit of a blanket statement for me personally, because I know with some of the stores that I own, they're actually not branded under me personally. I actually kind of have them branded under the demographic of the audience that's actually looking for the products. So if it was something that I was personally doing myself, you want to make sure the brand name is, it has to be in alignment with who you are and what you're doing and, the direction that you're going. So the brand name, if your name is actually attached to it, has to flow hand in hand. And actually one of the things that I did before like Facebook and all the social media stuff like blew up, I actually took a step back like years ago before all that stuff blew up. And I told myself that, hey, like, I need to be cognizant of what it is that I'm doing, because people can actually see this stuff publicly. And some of the stuff I see people posting is just like absolutely atrocious. I'm like, you see them posting about they can't find a job, and I'm like, have you looked at your social media? Have you looked at your Facebook timeline? Like, as a human resources manager and as a marketing director, when I was hiring people directly, like I pulled up their social media stuff, and I'm just like, nah, that dude's way too ratchet. Like there's no way like I'm going to let the company pay this person $50,000 a year to be my sales manager, and he's acting like he ain't got no sense. Like he's off the chain. So be very, very cognizant of the stuff that you post, because people are looking at it, man. People are watching. People are going to be studying you, and like it's very important to be aware of what you're putting out there and branding yourself. Like every single thing you do, like you need to ask yourself before you post it, like, is this going to affect my company or future positively or negatively? And, it should be a simple yes or no, hopefully. And if you got to think about it, it's probably a no. Let me just put that out there. If you got to think about it, just scratch. Like, man, that dude Ernest said it's a no. Like, yep. Right there with you. It's a no. Don't do that.
That's awesome. That's great. Great response, man. Great response. I think of that stuff all the time, and I don't always talk about it, but yeah, I mean that's the same thing. Same thing. Like when people are asking me for a job and stuff, like I go right on their social media. Like, where's your Facebook? Let's get to know each other a little bit, and then I go get to know them. By what they post on their Facebook, and you can see what kind of person they are, so it's like, yeah, so like if you're posting stuff like that, just like Ernest said, he's right on the money, it's as somebody that's an employee and an employer employing people, it's it's definitely something that's checked out right away. Me and Ernest were talking behind the scenes a couple days ago, and I had this person saying that their house burnt down, they had no money. And I said, if that's really true, I'm talking to them, like through email. I said, if that's really true, I'll give you my course for free. I need to see your Facebook link, and I want us to make sure it's really true.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
And he's like, the guy's like, can I send you a picture? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, you can send me a picture, but I need to see your Facebook too, because the tragedy. He would talk about the tragedy if that happened. I'm sure. Yep. I'm sure of it, or somebody else would have posted on his wall praying for you or something like that. You know how it is on Facebook. We all pray for each other and stuff on there and stuff. But that's all good stuff too.
Yeah, another thing too, before we move off the subject, is if you're looking to partner with anyone from a business standpoint too as well, be sure that they're in alignment with who you are and your values as an individual. Because I almost made a mistake partnering with somebody that would have ran my name in the ground had things gone through. And I actually, like you mentioned, prayed about it. I talked about it with my aunt, talked about it with my pastor. Like, because, it's a big decision. Like, you're partnering with somebody to do something like big. Like, I'm talking about it was like big time what I was looking at doing. And because I didn't make that partnership, it saved me personally from having my name dragged into the ground. So definitely be cognizant of that too as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Good advice there. So here's another question from my friend L. Campbell. What's up, my man? His question is, what is your biggest entrepreneurial mistake, and what did you learn from it? So just your perspective. There's no right or wrong answer to it, and you might not even know I'm not sure if you even know what your number one mistake.
Yeah, man, a lot of mistakes, man. Even earlier, it was just like, like I talked about with the consistency, like not having a belief in myself, but to get a little bit deeper, I'll say, I didn't make the best like choices, like financial wise, and like, kind of went and overextended myself, with, credit card debt, personal loans. I paid, $10,000 for a program like back in 2009. I'm actually getting ready to pay that off too, by the way. And I didn't make $1 from anything I learned from that program, and I'm about to pay it off in like 2 more months. I'm pumped up. I just talked to him the other day, man. I'm so glad to get that paid off. I just had to say that, Facebook.
Yeah.
But just that put me in a really bad situation to where, wasn't able to provide the way that I know I should have been doing, like, for a season with me, my fiance, and my kids and stuff. And so it really kind of, kept me at a ceiling as far as like what I thought I could actually do. And it doesn't take a whole lot. That's the cool thing about the internet is it doesn't take a whole lot to, really create, some success for yourself. Actually, the business that set my, trajectory to get me to where I'm at, I started with $12.50. So, it doesn't take a whole lot to kind of get things going. But it definitely, what that did was the financial piece, because, like I talked about earlier, if your mind ain't right, then your grind ain't right. And so with the financial piece not being in place, it left me to where, I would get depressed sometimes. I would, just feel like I had more bad days and good days. So, it messed with me mentally. It shouldn't have, but it did. And because I wasn't, doing what I needed to do as an individual, it really put a lot of strain on myself personally that, shouldn't have been there. So, that would be the biggest thing. Just like it was like mismanagement of finances at one point. Not staying consistent and really wanting to pursue, the different things that I was doing outside of work. Because like now, I don't want to get twisted. I was killing it when I was working full time too. Like I built some pretty large programs and sales organizations for the companies I was working for, from 0 to 7 figures, on multiple different projects for multiple different companies. But again, when you're working for somebody, that 7 figures ain't coming to you, baby. It's going to whoever you're working for. So, I was making the people that I was working for a lot of money. And, at the time, it seemed like I was doing pretty decent, as an individual, because I was, at the time, like in my early 20s. But, when I look at it now, like you backtrack, like, you're making 50 grand, you're making them 7 figures, like, that money don't make sense. But at the same time, guess what? They're paying for the payroll, they're paying for the accounting, they're paying for everyone else that works there. It's not just you. So by right, because they took that risk to start that organization, and you're working for them, like you do owe it to them, because they're cutting you that paycheck and giving them everything you got. So don't think that because you're working full time and you're looking at starting a business that you can slack off. Like, no, you got to give it, you got to give it your everything with everything that you're doing. Because how you do one thing is how you're going to do something else. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So I don't know if I answered the question. But
You answered it. You answered it great. And it's just like I said. It's just there's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just all a matter of just perspective. You know what I mean? And how I was talking about earlier, there's always a contradictory perspective. The best thing you could do is get around great people and hear multiple perspectives and create your own. So so definitely definitely appreciate your response to that. Definitely appreciate everybody that's been on here, commenting and giving us love. Appreciate that love button too. I love that. So that's pretty cool. And I'm just definitely grateful to have you on here today. And if you had any closing thoughts or anything like that, there's Sean Chuck with the love that. Appreciate you, Sean. So if you had any closing thoughts, here on the show, what would they be? Or if there's any kind of like last advice you could give us. You know what? Before I do that, that's going to be my last question. We're going to have one more question before that too, because you actually talked about something that brought a thought, and I think this is good for those that are the people that are working for other people, whether they want to move on to work for themselves or they want to keep doing that. That's great too, because everybody's different. We're all different, and we all have our own places and stuff like that. And some of us, so a lot of people do feel very fulfilled just working a job, because that might be their calling, whether it's nursing or law enforcement or something like that they're passionate about. Yeah. But if you had to give somebody as an employer, this is it looks like and I have another question on here too. That's good. It's cool though. So Sean, you can give it to me, please. Yeah. So as an employer, what would be your advice to an employee for them to get paid more?
You get paid based on the value that you bring. So if you're only bringing $8 an hour worth of value, you're only worth $8 an hour. If you're bringing $50 an hour worth of value and you're bringing in the organization a good return on investment, then you should be paid more, plain and simple. I don't want to be political, but I'll just say I've seen some of the quotes, or not necessarily quotes, but some of the news castings rather of pay increases and people saying that they should get paid more. The thing was, when I worked as an employee, I never had to ask for a raise. I was always the most qualified individual for every position that was ever brought to the table to actually earn a raise. There was no doubt. There was no question because of my work ethic and what I was putting in, like being the first person to show up to work, doing anything that my manager requested. Obviously being like something that's company related, not anything crazy outside of company wise. I know some of you folks think the wrong thing, but doing everything recommended by the manager, going above and beyond the call of duty, staying late if I needed to. In most cases, being the first one in, last one out. And just always just being that person that's always in a good position for the company. I was always the most qualified individual. There was like when it came time for the annual reviews. You look down and just like, man, who should we really give, a 10% pay increase to this year? I would just outwork everybody else to where there was no question, there was no doubt. Like, I mentioned, helping different organizations bring in, 7 figures worth of revenue. Well, guess what? If you're only paying me $100,000 a year and I'm bringing you in 7 figures a year, and let's say 50% of that's going to payroll and material and overhead, I just helped you make an extra $500,000 a year. Like, do you really think it's going to be a question or a doubt on who should be the person that's qualified to get the next raise? And I'm outworking everybody else. I helped you build an organization from the ground up to hundreds of people spread across the country, and help you bring in multiple 7 figures a year. Do you think it's really going to be a doubt or a question on who should be the person in line to actually get a raise? No. So the thing is that just go earn it. Like, if you're the most qualified individual, like you'll probably be the one that's getting a raise. Like, how much value are you adding to the company? Are you helping them grow? Like, are you helping them bring in talent? Or are you just looking to always get something out of the situation? Most people shortcut how much they can give, and they're always looking what they can get. So if you give more and do more, you'll probably get more.
Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of a lot of people I know that work for different people and stuff. It's just like, it just seems like they want to do the bare minimum, Mm-hmm. And I always say, I'm like, look, man, like if you want to make like $100 an hour, like, or something like that, let's say that's the number, like, you should be working like you're making it already, not waiting for the pay raise to do it, Mm-hmm. So, like, obviously you have good work ethic. It's obvious, and I love your response to that question.
Yeah,
my man Leafy, act like you own the place. That's pretty good. I like that.
Absolutely.
That means that you're doing whatever it takes. Right?
Yeah, and I love being an employee too, man. Like, I'm not gonna get on here and get it twisted. Like, I really enjoyed what I was doing. Like, I love dealing with people, and for me, I just chose to pursue sales and marketing and stuff like that. So, I loved working in the environments that I loved. I loved working with people. The thing that I didn't like was having no control. That was an issue. I can only take a bathroom break, X amount of time, or, I couldn't, or I had to ask for a day off. Like, I thought asking to go to the bathroom and asking not to do something was something that was over after high school or after school in general, but apparently not. Like, most adults have to do that for the rest of their lives. So it was like some of that stuff that kind of like ticked me off a little bit. And I got, there was times where I worked with a company that, company went out of business, got laid off. I got fired from another company before. So it was just like, all those different scenarios kind of, gave me that extra push to want to really pursue entrepreneurship and creating, opportunity for myself.
Love it. Love your response. So I see you on there, Moses, too. Cool, man. Thanks, brother. So it looks like we got one more question here before we close it out. Lynn Henderson, what do we do if we would like to consult with either of you? So I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so Lynn, you can actually go over to my website, which is earnestepps.com. So it's EARNESTEPPS.com. I got tons of free content on there too as well, so you can check out tons of information. I got some free trainings and things of that nature that I have live on the site. So definitely go on there, browse, get acclimated to the information, and then reach out to me from there.
Awesome. Yeah, well, like, and then and just asking me. I mean, you could just you're welcome to just send a message on Facebook. I have a website. It's actually my Facebook as well. www.ecommercegoldclub.com, and you can get to know me and my story there as well with my particular niche. We both have different niches. whatever's best for you. We're always taking on new clients and stuff like that as well too. Am I right by saying that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, cool. Yeah. So appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all the love. Just extremely grateful. For Ernest, coming up here to Jersey, and doing the show with us today. Grateful for Sean Humanchuk here. Been taking all of you guys' questions. You guys seen him in the beginning of the show here, and we're gonna close it out. But did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to touch on or anything like that?
Yeah. So phenomenal name. Just go out there and do. Just figure out what you got to do and do whatever it takes. So I'm going to be going to an event this upcoming weekend where last year when I went to this event, I actually had to sleep in my car because I was too broke to pay for a hotel. I literally slept in the car. I woke up. I went into the restroom. I washed up in the restroom, brushed my teeth, changed my clothes. Came back out to the car, grabbed my stuff, and went into the event. So, that was last year. Fast forward this year, not only am I going, but I'm bringing my fiance with me. We're going to be staying in a, nice, 4 or 5 star, hotel, and we're going to enjoy, the event like crazy this time. So, had I not made that decision to, do whatever it took to make it to the event, and get the information that I learned and apply it to life, that could have, I couldn't be, where I'm at today possibly from what I learned there. So again, just putting myself in the right environment and doing whatever it takes. Continue to do whatever it takes to win, and no matter what you're doing, man, win it everything. Win it parenthood, win it being a father, a mother, win at your job, win at your business. Just figure out what you got to do and just do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Man, I love them closing thoughts. Love it. So again, thank you. I'm just going to close it out here with gratitude. Thank you all, for coming on the show today and watching live. For those of you that catch the replay, thank you to you guys too, for watching the show and joining us. We're both grateful, for that. And I'll see you on the next show. Feel free to send out requests for Ernest to come back on the show too. I think it'd be cool to have him on the show 6 months, a year later, too. And I plan on whatever me and him could do for each other. I plan on us growing our relationship here too. But thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.